Right now at 10, an investigation is underway after a truck driver was attacked at a West Salem Quick Trip.
And day 4 of Adam Fravel's murder trial includes testimony from those who found Madeline Kingsbury's body.
Plus, child care providers urge state lawmakers to support their industry in the next state budget.
We're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now at 10.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us for News 8 Now at 10. I'm Ken Kozarowski.
And I'm Emily Brown. An investigation is underway after a reported throat slashing at a West Salem Quick Trip. West Salem's police chief says officers responded to the Jefferson Street Quick Trip around 8 p.m. Monday. Police found a man with his throat cut. The victim was taken to the hospital and later released. Police say the suspect fled in a red semi-truck with a trailer. They believe both men were truck drivers with no connection to each other or the area. Anyone with information should contact Detective Sergeant Ganrud at the number on your screen.
Adam Fravel's murder trial wrapped its 4th day today. A Fillmore County investigator and the property owner where Madeline Kingsbury's body was found took the stand. Investigator Don Dornick found Kingsbury's body in June 2023 on 198th Street near Choice, Minnesota. Dornick said the sound of flies led him to find Kingsbury under a pile of logs and vegetation in a nearby ditch. The property owner says he paid Adam Fravel's father to mow the grass routinely. The state presented several images from the crime scene and surrounding areas. Fravel's attorneys argued that law enforcement should have found Kingsbury while searching the area back in April of that year.
A Wisconsin man is federally indicted in connection with an international sex trafficking ring. 71-year-old James Jacobson of Rice Lake is one of 3 people arrested today. The others being former Abercrombie CEO Mike Jeffries and his partner Matthew Smith. According to the indictment, they allegedly lured men from across the globe to perform sex acts for the promise of modeling opportunities. Jacobson allegedly served as a middleman who recruited the men. He's due in federal court in St. Paul.
One person is dead after a crash Monday in Jackson County. According to the sheriff's office, a car rear-ended a large grain truck on State Highway 108, pinning the driver and passenger inside. The driver was pronounced dead on scene. The passenger was airlifted to the hospital. Names are withheld at this time, though the crash remains under investigation.
Well, the big change when you wake up tomorrow morning is going to be the northwest winds coming behind that cold front that's coming through right now. So although the temperatures are not going to be too bad, you'll notice the wind. We got a few showers out there that could hit some areas, but most areas will remain dry. But it really is the wind is the big story as you wake up tomorrow morning. Right now it's at northwest about 15, maybe up to 20. It'll start decreasing afternoon, but you see La Crosse is getting up to about 54. Less clouds as you go throughout the noon hour. Overall, similar story to Eau Claire. A few sprinkles potentially north of the city later overall tonight, but then less clouds as we go throughout noon hour. But that wind will be breezy, 15 to 20 and out of the northwest, getting up to about 51 at noon. Overall, if you look at, there's your precipitation, just a little bit of showers that have persisted up the Ladysmith, but the front has come through. Those are the wind speeds, the current wind speeds, and as I've noted, Eau Claire has swung around to the northwest at 15, and there are some 20-plus mile-per-hour winds to the west of that, so that is the breezy conditions that'll be coming through along with the change in the direction. There's some precipitation out there, but don't expect too much in the way of that. Coming up later, the Ouija board is finally saying the right thing once and all, that we do have more rain in the forecast, and this time it is measurable rain that we desperately need. I'll kind of break down when to expect that later in the broadcast.
All right. Thank you, Greg.
Wisconsin early voting is now underway. Unlike Election Day, where you must vote at your assigned precinct, early voters can cast their ballot at any designated location within the city. 3 additional polling locations are open tomorrow. Early voting continues through Friday, November 1st, and all you need is your photo ID.
In Eau Claire, a drive-through voting center is open at City Hall from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. The site also offers voter registration. Drivers should enter from Wisconsin Street off Farwell Street. Dewey Street will be down to one way during the drive-through voting hours. The Wisconsin Elections Commission has also released a statement in response to some early voters today experiencing slowness and errors when voting, stating in part, quote, "Today's system lag was purely related to demands on the WisVote system due to high turnout. WEC staff worked quickly to increase system capacity to ensure that clerks can continue to facilitate in-person absentee voting efficiently."
Republicans and Democrats are urging Wisconsinites to embrace early voting. Republican Congressman Derek Van Orden met with supporters across the street from Sparta City Hall. He and fellow Republicans encouraged them to vote early. Van Orden says the election comes down to three things: gas, groceries, and grandkids.
We can't afford to fill up a gas tank and a grocery cart on the same day in the United States of America, and we're deeply concerned about the future for our children and grandchildren. If you don't vote, you don't get a gripe. So get out and vote between now and the 5th.
The former Navy SEAL Van Orden says most voters may not have served in the military, but voting is their chance to serve.
Former President Barack Obama was in the Badger State today campaigning with VP candidate Tim Walz, looking to gain support for Kamala Harris. The pair were in Madison encouraging Democratic voters to hit the polls early in the battleground state, which Joe Biden won by only 20,000 votes back in 2020.
If you haven't voted yet, I won't be offended if you just walk out right now. Go vote.
This thing's close. We're still the underdogs in this, and we know we're going to leave it all on the field. Wisconsin, you got same-day voter registration, and it's open today.
After that stop in Madison, Walz spoke in Racine.
Senator Tammy Baldwin met with cranberry growers in Jackson County today as her People Power campaign tour continues. The Democratic senator is visiting a Black River Falls marsh and research facility. While talking with local growers about farming issues, Baldwin emphasized the importance of these community visits.
You know, when you show up, you listen, you hear concerns and challenges, and then you go back to Washington and fight like hell to bring solutions. I think people notice that, and I think it goes above partisanship.
Republican Congressman Derek Van Orden visited the same farm and research facility less than a week ago.
La Crosse County child care providers are urging state lawmakers for help in the next budget. Industry professionals invited Western Wisconsin candidates for state office to a listening session tonight in La Crosse. Providers shared personal experiences on the child care landscape. Now, Wisconsin used COVID relief money to set up Child Care Counts, a program subsidizing providers statewide. Governor Evers unsuccessfully called for state money to permanently fund that program. Providers tonight say if state funding isn't available for child care long term, communities and workforces will crumble.
This is literally the back that every other business is built upon. And so if we don't have this in our infrastructure, we will not be able to have a community. The infrastructure honestly will just implode.
The Wisconsin Early Childhood Association reports that in the last decade, regulated child care programs in Wisconsin have gone down by almost 50%.
Universities of Wisconsin President Jay Rothman discussed the impacts of the 2024-25 budget request at UW-La Crosse today. One of the main focuses for this year's budget request is the completion of UWL's Prairie Springs Science Building. Phase 2 of the Science Center has been on hold since 2021. Rothman says with nearly 40% of UWL graduates moving into STEM or healthcare fields, the construction of the new Science Center is essential.
Prairie Springs is #1 in terms of our major capital projects. I remain very hopeful that Prairie Springs can be done. It's necessary, it's important to UW-La Crosse, but it's important to the state as a whole.
The budget request also hopes to increase middle-class families' access to Wisconsin's Tuition Promise program and bring an AI hub into the UW system.
Some Green Bay Packers were at Fort McCoy visiting the Wisconsin Challenge Academy today. The Academy is a 22.5-week program for high school-age kids who are having difficulties graduating. Packers including Ellis Merriweather and Cornelius Johnson made the trip to shake hands, sign autographs, and answer questions from the cadets.
I got the opportunity to do it last year, and you know, I was just kind of inspired by these young cadets, and I just felt like it was mandatory for me to come and do it again when the opportunity presented itself.
Each player also received a challenge medal signifying appreciation, recognition, and pride.
Celebrating leadership.
A Town of Campbell official is recognized for her efforts in environmental justice.
The lawyer you choose makes a difference because you get this one chance to get this right, and you want somebody that's going to fight for you and get you the resolution that you need. I'm so glad that I called BGR.
My husband and I were elated to find out that we would be having another baby. But after many tests, my doctors agreed that we had to terminate the pregnancy. It was the worst day of my life. You should know that Eric Hubge supports laws that stop me and my doctor from making that decision. And that's a ban with no exceptions in cases of rape or incest. It's a ban that could turn doctors into criminals. He opposes abortion, period.
Win Senate is responsible for the content of this ad.
Over the last few years, we've redefined what working remotely means, and so is the Ford F-150. Bring your desk wherever you go with a flat interior work surface. Drop down the tailgate to get it all done, and plug in what you need outside the cab with available Pro Power on board. How's that for upping your productivity? Tough this smart can only be called F-150. Get 2.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $9,900 in total savings on a new Ford F-150 XLT. Only at your local Nordland Ford dealers.
A flood of illegals, skyrocketing prices, global chaos, and Kamala wouldn't change a thing.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Nothing will change with Kamala. More weakness, more war, more welfare for illegals, and even more taxes. Only President Trump cut middle-class taxes, and only President Trump will do it again.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Is your personal injury lawyer trying to sell you a settlement that you don't think is fair? You need a lawyer who won't settle your case just to move on to the next one. Get the full compensation you deserve. Get Bygoff and Rohde.
A La Crosse nonprofit is celebrating outstanding green leadership. The Sustainability Institute recognized 2 winners for this year's Inspiring Sustainability Awards. This 14th annual event celebrates community efforts that advance things like clean air and water, nutrition, and biodiversity. Institute officials believe embracing these projects can lead to a more positive future in La Crosse.
Sustainability is really important here just because we know things are changing. We know that climate is changing. We know that the social factors are changing, right? And so we need to figure out how we can help our community thrive in the future for all these conditions that are coming our way.
This year's winners are the La Crosse Habitat for Humanity and Andrew Erickson, the Sustainability Coordinator at UWL.
The Midwest Environmental Advocates announced the winners of the 2024 Bill Iwin Environmental Justice Award today. The award was established in 2019 to honor community members working to advance environmental justice in Wisconsin. Lee Donahue of Campbell is one of this year's winners. Donahue worked to draw attention to toxic PFAS contamination in tap water and protect other communities by advocating for a permanent source of safe drinking water.
There's no moat around Campbell or Peshtigo or Stella, Eau Claire, Rhinelander, and the list goes on, that prevents those toxic plumes from growing, from moving, and devastating other communities and waterways. And that's why it is so important to ban non-essential PFAS.
Marco Marquez of Milwaukee and Paul Demain were also selected to receive the award for their efforts in drawing attention to environmental health in the state.
Closing up shop.
A major restaurant chain will close 150 of its locations in the next year.
Well, our streak for no rain at La Crosse is going to be up to 31 days, but it is going to come to an end very soon. I'll break down those rain chances coming up and what the temperatures look like for the rest of the week. That coming up on your First Warn Weather Update after the break.
From cozy breakfast nooks to formal dining areas, Ashley has versatile dining options that fit any space and style, starting at just $499.99. And receive a $250 mattress credit with the purchase of any 6-piece bedroom set. Only at Ashley. Shop more deals in-store and online.
Sometimes a celebration means fireworks and loud music. I'll just tell you that I'm celebrating 35 years at the board store, 80 years on the planet, and my daughter Danielle becoming the new general manager of the board store. Let what's personal to me be personal to you with savings on your next home improvement.
Call for a prompt free estimate on windows and doors, on siding or gutters, on a bathroom or a kitchen, on a sunroom or deck.
Better products.
Better people.
Better prices.
The board store, improving your home, improving your life.
Honey, where are the kids?
I put them in the furnace so I could figure out why we don't have any heat.
You did what?
Maybe it's that loose wire.
Maybe it's that plug vent.
Maybe it's the bad igniter.
Maybe it's a dirty flame sensor. Or maybe, why don't we just call G&T Heating and Air Conditioning?
Quality you can count on, experience you can trust.
With over 50 years of combined experience, G&T services residential and commercial customers within 50 miles of West Salem.
Firefighters Credit Union now has credit cards. I know what some of you are thinking. The money man has sold his soul to the devil. Well, not quite. Unlike the big credit card issuers, we don't want you to pay interest. We don't want you to pay late fees. We don't want you to pay over the limit fees. We want you to use our card. If you use it correctly, you'll never pay a dime, and we'll pay you to use it. Are you intrigued? Give us a call and find out more today.
This illegal immigrant was recently arrested in southwestern Wisconsin for a sexually violent attack on a woman, a suspected Venezuelan gang member who entered the U.S. just last year. Unfortunately, Steve Doyle supports sanctuary cities that protect criminals like this, and Doyle opposed sending resources to secure the border to keep dangerous criminals like Alejandro Jose Coronel Zarate away from our families. Steve Doyle's failures are destroying Wisconsin lives. Steve Doyle, unwilling to secure the border, unfit to serve.
Looking for a better night's sleep? Ashley Sleep offers 3 different mattress lines for everybody, from soft, cloud-like comfort to firm next-level support. Or wake up on the bright side of the bed with a Nectar mattress starting at $7.99. Now available at Ashley. Shop more deals in-store and online.
Is it time for new windows or doors? Contact the company who has done the research for you. The best windows and doors installed by the best people. Clear Choice Window and Home Solutions.
You're watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
Well, your opportunities to get a grand slam at 3 in the morning are about to shrink dramatically. Denny's says it's closing 150 restaurants in the next year or so. That'll leave close to 1,400 locations still open.
But corporate Denny's is taking a lighter hand on requiring franchisees to stay open 24 hours a day. That means your local Denny's may start closing around the same time as other restaurants. About 25% of all Denny's never went back to 24/7 operating hours after the pandemic.
It's been about 5 years since I was at Denny's.
I don't want to go back. My mom always wanted to go there for her birthday. I was like, we are in Houston,
really?
Texas, the restaurant chain of the world, and she always wanted to go to Denny's.
Huh.
I like breakfast, Emily. Yeah.
I mean, I'm a big breakfast fan too, but I guess more power to your mom.
No.
Big Denny's fan,
I'm
I
glad.
guess.
Okay, no.
Well, in the meantime, we have basically not seen any rain.
No.
It feels like weeks.
I feel it on my
weeks.
face, dry. Just dry. I'm flaking. We need more moisture in the air, don't we?
We do, and it might be coming. Let's get the details from Greg.
Yeah, it's definitely looked like we're going to finally get some rain. It's not going to be tonight. There's a little bit of rain opportunity for areas to the northeast to get that as this front comes through. But the rain that we're really looking forward is to Thursday evening with the next front that comes through. And right now, I think everyone's going to see 1/4 of an inch. Some areas, especially I think further south you go, there's a better opportunity to get more than a 1/2 inch. If we see some of these thunderstorms, this is subject to change, but I do think it's going to be a pretty good widespread rain event. Not enough to break the drought that we're kind of in, but at least something that we haven't seen in a while. So overall, if we will look at, we're going to have breezy conditions behind that cold front coming through. Cooler temps when tomorrow. Breezy and milder for Thursday ahead of that next front, but the winds will be out of the south, so we should get back in the 60s. And then, yeah, rain Thursday evening. The good news, it pretty much ends after midnight. We actually could see some thunderstorms, too, especially further south, and that may enhance some of the rain amounts. Right now, that's a system coming through right there. There's your front to the north that's sliding through. The system for Thursday is still off the shore, off the Pacific West Coast, but we're going to get that one coming through eventually. The one story in the morning is going to be the winds, 15 to 20 as you wake up out of the northwest. You definitely feel that breezy conditions, potentially gust higher about 25 to 30. Eventually, towards the morning hour and early afternoon, it'll start decreasing and you'll start seeing those winds get below about 5 to 10. So breezy in the morning, plenty of sun in the afternoon, but temperatures mid to upper 50s, low 50s up to the north. This is the low temps we actually had a couple days ago, but this is where we should be for this time of year. Thursday, the winds turn around ahead of the front, so not as quite cold for Thursday morning, but then as we go into Thursday afternoon, the wind's going to pick up out of the south. That'll get our temperatures back into the 60s, mid to upper 60s. We should stay dry throughout all the day. I think towards the evening commute, as I'll show you here in a second, that's when I think that line of showers or potential thunderstorms will come through. But it's not until we get to about after 4 Then you'll start seeing 6 p.m. Here's a line of showers and potential thunderstorms that'll come through between about 7 through about midnight. And there could be some enhancement as it comes through. But you notice by the time we get to Friday morning, cloud cover's getting lessened. We actually got clear skies and pretty nice conditions going into Friday, albeit will be cooler than we were on Thursday. Now ahead of the front, we got one problem with it. We're not going to see a lot of moisture until the evening hour. So we could see relative humidities before the front gets there in the 30%, maybe 20%. So noted that we are quite dry. It might make fire danger a little bit more elevated Thursday, especially with the winds being a little bit gusty in the afternoon. And then eventually we'll get that rainfall that'll come through. After that, the weekend still looks fairly good. We're looking at temperatures in the low 60s, which is above average. Before that next system comes closer to Halloween, we actually might climb all the way up to the mid 70s once again on Tuesday, before it does look wet Tuesday all the way through Halloween potentially. We'll kind of fill in the details as we get closer to that one. But yeah, prepare for some wet conditions Thursday after about 7 p.m. So that's the good news. We need more, but at least it's a start.
Yeah, It's been a long time coming.
Yep.
All right, Greg, thank you. Coming up next in sports, playoffs. Teams fighting to keep their season alive today. We got highlights and scores from the pitch, volleyball court, and gridiron on a jam-packed Tuesday night. Jacob is next.
News 8 Now Sports is brought to you by Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin, with 6 locations of fun.
Make fall cleanup quick and easy and get an 11% rebate at Menards. Works Outdoor Power Tools have everything you need to maintain your yard. They're perfect to get the job done quick and easy. Get this Works Tri-Vac electric leaf blower, vacuum, and mulcher for just $79.99 after rebate. Or pick up this Works 20-volt cordless string trimmer edger and leaf blower combo kit for $106.79 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
We all know what Eric Hovde's trying to do. Falsely attacking Tammy Baldwin by questioning her personal life. And Eric Hovde's trying to scare you. The truth is, no sex change surgeries take place on minors in Wisconsin. 0. And Baldwin didn't give funding to a transgender clinic. It's actually a youth homeless shelter. Eric Hovde's a billionaire banker who thinks he can lie about anything. But Wisconsin's better than Eric Hovde.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
As a working mom, I'm feeling the pain of inflation. Everything costs more these days because of Biden and Kamala's wasteful spending. And while we pay more, they're giving away our hard-earned money to illegal immigrants. Tammy Baldwin is just as bad. Baldwin voted to give amnesty and taxpayer benefits to illegal immigrants. She even gave them government stimulus checks and free health care. We can't afford Tammy Baldwin and her handouts to illegal immigrants.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message.
He's supposed to serve Wisconsin, but Derek Van Orden doesn't care about making our lives better. Van Orden wants to repeal the law that stops insurance companies from denying coverage if you have a pre-existing health condition. He'd make Wisconsinites pay just to give huge tax cuts to corporations and the wealthy. Van Orden even sides with extremists who tried to cut Social Security. Wisconsin deserves better, and Derek Van Orden does not belong in Congress.
HMP is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Something big is happening at Hy-Vee. We've lowered thousands and thousands of prices on thousands and thousands of items in every aisle and in every department. Online, too. And on many of your favorite products. We've even matched prices with some of the biggest discount stores in the country. Because we get it, times are still tough. So we'll continue to work hard to bring you new lower prices on thousands of items. Things are looking different at Hy-Vee. Come see for yourself.
Covering all of the exciting action from your community, here's News 8 Now Sports.
Well, the playoffs are here for our high school teams. Postseason action from here on out for the fall sports season, and that means we've got a lot to get to. Let's begin on the soccer pitch. The Holman Vikings, fresh off an MVC title. They've got 2 seed in the Division II playoffs, hosting Altoona for their first round match. Vikings wasting no time. Andrew Ripp lets one fly from deep. It's off the crossbar. Elliot Yang is right there for the putback, but the whistle was called. Yang was offsides, so take that goal off the board. Second half still tied at 0. Andre De La Rosa lets one rip off the crossbar again. Yang's putback is no good. We remain scoreless. 78th minute. De La Rosa work in the middle of the field. Check out the footwork. Nifty move and a rocket into the net, and that is a game winner. He celebrates with the other football team, and the Vikings are moving on. Toma and Sparta also facing off in the D2 playoffs. Timberwolves come out on top 2-0. Landon Calhoun and Tucker Lasco with the 2 goals. Over the court we go. Westby taking on River Valley. Norsemen trying to get something going as they are down at 2-0 away side, looking to add to their lead, but watch out. Aiden Frank leaps up and sends the ball back to the other side for the point, but the Blackhawks were sharp tonight. Here, Izzy Roth is going to rise up and power one down into a good spot as RV takes a commanding lead. Westby would come back to win a set, but it's the dominating defense of River Valley as Elizabeth Gostomski says not tonight and sends it back the other way. Blackhawks pick up the road win in 4 sets. From one Blackhawks squad to another as Viroqua hosting Lancaster. Home side would fly off to a hot start in this one as the senior Abby Timmerman would soar up and snatch the ball to the ground for the kill. Lancaster trying to come back. Viroqua's dig would go a bit too far, and you can hear the smack as Jessica Morgan would send it down with no remorse, but check out this play. Viroqua trying to send it over the net, but Ella Grutzmacher is there for the flying arrows, but it's Alan Christensen with the redirect for the win of the set for the Blackhawks, and Viroqua would take control and take this one 3-1. Other regional quarterfinal action results. The Logan Rangers season comes to a close at Portage in straight sets. In Division 3, Luther takes care of Prairie du Chien in a sweep. The Knights will face Richland Center on Thursday. And then a couple of away squads keeping their season alive on the road in D4. The 9th seed Cardinals take down 8th seed Blair Taylor. And the 10th seeded Melrose Mindoro squad scores an upset on the road at the 7th seed Whitehall. All right, playoff football time in Minnesota. Spring Grove looking to stay unbeaten on the season. Lions come out the gate hot. Bryce Burns whips a pass over the middle to Ben Oudstoon to open the floodgates as he coasts in for 6. And then Burns showing off the arm strength, going for Zach Brum, and they connect for the 40-yard score. Lots to cheer about tonight for the Lions faithful. Not much later, the home side would ground and pound with Dash Ranzenberger, who's in for 6. Burns threw for 4 touchdowns in just over 12 minutes of game action. Ezra Griffin grabbing this one. The number 6 team in the division beginning with a statement win, 52-6, the final. Elsewhere in the state, lots of road games for our area squads. Lancers fall to Lake City by 22. Winona advanced by forfeit. Cotter's season ends at Dover Eyota, and Rushford Peterson crushes Wabasha Kellogg. Also, Houston is defeated by Southland 27-14. Mabel Canton sees their season come to a close against Kingsland, and Lewiston Altura handles St. Charles with ease. Lots of stuff to get to, lots of fun, guys. Just want to mention outside of the high school scene, sports, News 8 Sports Pick'em, not going well for me, but I will brag about my fantasy team for the work league. So that's what I got.
You're number 1 in that right now.
That's what I got. So,
there you go.
But yeah,
the good with the bad.
Yeah, it's 2 sides of the coin. Right? Yeah.
I'm still doing okay on Pick'em. You're catching up.
Catching up. Still a lot of ground to make up.
Yeah.
You guys are doing well.
Yeah.
Keep voting and keep picking games out there.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Okay.
Jake.
All right. Now more news right after this.
When you see Stacy Klein, think 1849. She supports the 1849 law that would ban abortion. No exceptions for rape, incest, or to save the mother. Don't let Klein take us back to 1849.
Politics these days stinks. Too much hot air, and you know what else. But I'm no stranger to putting in a hard day's work and getting the job done. I have a history of bipartisan accomplishments. It's a hard job, but I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty. I can reach across the aisle and pass good bills just as easily as I can walk across the barnyard with my shovel. So whether it's doing chores on the farm or passing bills in Madison, I'm Steve Doyle, and I'm ready to get back to work for you.
With Chevy trucks, be ready for adventure. With power you can count on. Capability that doesn't compromise. A hard-working EV with more range than any competitor and the potential to take you anywhere.
Get 0% financing plus make no monthly payments for 90 days on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. Or get $5,750 total value on this Silverado. Visit HometownChevy.com.
For over 40 years, Lacrosse Glass and Overhead Door has been the go-to company for anything glass and door. We offer a large stock inventory of CEHI garage doors to help you find the perfect fit. As a locally owned business, we take pride in our work and always get the job done. From commercial glass and glazing to residential glass and CEHI garage doors, we have the experience and expertise to help you. Call or visit our website today.
My husband and I were elated to find out that we would be having another baby. But after many tests, my doctors agreed that we had to terminate the pregnancy. It was the worst day of my life. You should know that Eric Hovde supports laws that stop me and my doctor from making that decision. And that's a ban with no exceptions in cases of rape or incest. It's a ban that could turn doctors into criminals. He opposes abortion, period.
Win Senate is responsible for the content of this ad.
When you see Stacy Klein, think 1849. She supports the 1849 law that would ban abortion. No exceptions for rape, incest, or to save the mother. Don't let Klein take us back to 1849.
Everything but the kitchen sink.
That's right. DiGiorno is bringing back its Thanksgiving pizza, which the company calls a fan favorite. The frozen pizza includes many of the trappings of Thanksgiving and pizza, all in each slice. That includes roasted turkey, gravy, green beans, cranberries, crispy onions, a bit of mozzarella and cheddar cheese on a Detroit-style crust. The pizza doesn't have diced sweet potatoes, which were included in last year's inaugural version. The pizza sells for about $10.
So the sweet potatoes is where people drew the line?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I'm hungry. I would do it.
I'm starving right now, but I mean, it doesn't look bad.
Green bean? No, it
right?
doesn't. It looks very hearty, and
yeah.
there's vegetables on it.
I don't know.
Get some vitamins.
I mean, the fact that it's stuck around another year means it must be doing well.
People are liking it.
Teach their own.
Might have to try it. All right, Greg, we'll have one final look at your forecast when we come back.
Let's talk about Rebecca Cook. She's a political operative. She's worked for defund the police radicals across this country.
Cook spent millions getting Mandela Barnes elected, the most anti-law enforcement candidate in Wisconsin's history.
You remember Barnes, the guy who said reducing prison populations was sexy?
Defund the police radicals make it harder for us to keep you safe.
That's why we can't support Rebecca Cook, because she'll never support us.
I'm Derek Van Orden, and I approve this message.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we've helped hunters gear up for the season for over 6 decades. So as you prep for this year's hunt, shop unbeatable deals on supplies to make your trip successful. Like 10 packs of Grabber head warmers, just $5.99. This Stealth Cam 360 trail camera, only $129.99. Hit the road with 5 quarts of Citgo SuperGuard full synthetic motor oil, $17.99. And all Fram oil filters are 20% off for rewards members. Gear up for the hunt and save at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Are record high energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today.
When I was 5, I began getting sexually abused by my stepfather, and he got me pregnant when I was 12. "64,000 pregnancies from rape have occurred in states with total abortion bans. And Trump did this. Women and girls need to have choices. With Kamala Harris, we do."
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Pumpkin pie Wurzel. Wow, this is good. What's it called? A Whizzle? Espresso Wurzel.
Thank you. Tastes just like a coffee shop. I love Wurzies.
Door County Cherry Wurzel.
Yum! These whirlies are amazing.
Did someone order a dill pickle Wurzel?
That's mine. It's a Wurzel. Delicious.
When you want to make your home a warmer, more welcoming place, it's hard to beat the feel of a fire. Transform your home with a Heat and Glow gas insert from Lacrosse Fireplace Company. Enjoy all the coziness with none of the hassle. No cleanup, no drafts, and low maintenance. Just efficient and reliable warmth made easy. Your new Heat and Glow fireplace can be installed in just a day, right inside your outdated wood fireplace. La Crosse Fireplace Company, because your place is by the fire.
All right, tomorrow definitely you will feel like it's Halloween again in the 50s, breezy in the morning, and then we do have rain coming for Thursday evening. Just keep that in mind. Finally, we got some.
All right, thanks for joining us.
We'll see you tomorrow.